What's up, all you chumps? All you little pansies? It's me, Mark. Welcome to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. It's the scariest, spookiest podcast in the whole world. You thought spooky season was done. It's not done. Welcome to the show, bitch.
Also the other host of the Nerd for No Reason podcast. Welcome to our nightmare, bitch.
Totally worth it. Totally worth all of the preamble that we did before the show actually started.
Beautiful. We love to hear it. Not see it. This is not a video. Unless you're the type of person that, like, you know, if you're listening to a podcast and you imagine it in your head. I kind of do that sometimes. Like when I'm listening to like a true crime podcast and they're like, and they, you know, or like books even, when they're like describing like, and then she gasped. I'll like make facial expressions while I'm just like grooming some dogs and I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, I've had full on, before I know what podcasters actually look like, I've listened to shows for years and I'm like, oh, this person clearly looks a certain way. And then I see something, and then I see like a picture of them on Instagram or something. I'm like, oh, that's right. You look like a normal person.
Dude, it fucks me up so hard. It's so, like, you're just like, this is what I imagined of you. And then you finally see them and you're like, everything I know is a lie.
Yes, absolutely. And then, like, it takes me a couple episodes to get back into, like,
this
I
is
guess
what
kind
you
of
look like.
the rhythm of listening to the show again. All because I found out what they look like. It's wild.
Right? Dude, I did that with My Favorite Murder. I had been listening to them for probably like 2 years before I actually saw what they looked like. And I was like, what? What's happening here? This is not exactly what I pictured. I pictured the opposite of exactly what they look like. And it hurt my brain and my heart. But it's okay. Chris and I know that I've told you about it, but we listened to this one podcast called Chilluminati. And seeing those guys, I was like, yep, the main guy that is like actually in love with aliens and wants them to take him and do anything that they will to him. He looks like he would be that kind of guy. God bless him. He's exactly what I pictured. Yeah. Dude, you should listen to their podcast. It's crazy. It's fun.
I've been looking for new podcasts. It's like one of the things where there was one podcast that I listened to every weekday for almost a decade. And it was a radio show out of Los Angeles. I loved it because they very much had my kind of sense of humor, and I didn't have to listen to like the commercials or the music breaks or anything like that. And it was really, really good. Just fun, good, like zoo radio humor that wasn't War of the Roses. Like Ryan Seacrest was like, oh my God, my boyfriend's cheating on me. And they're like, let's call him up. You know, oh my God, I love Kim Kardashian so much. No, these guys were like, yo, her whole empire is built on her being a porn star. Anyway, sure. But when that went off the air and I couldn't do it, it's like I have a huge black hole in my podcast lineup. And true crime is one of those things, like it's cool for a little bit, but then like after a while, I'm like, I feel down in the dumps. I can only deal with so much of this. And then there's other ones like they do like these little 8-episode podcast things where like, oh, we done an investigation on some topic that you really like. And then after, you know, 2 weeks of mainlining that's done. So yeah, I don't have like a consistent thing. So I'm gonna have to check these guys out.
You definitely should, because they do occasionally do true crime. Every now and then, the main guy, Mathis, will talk about like one specific serial killer, and some of them are just like crazy out of the box that you've never heard of. And he'll do like maybe 2 or 3 episodes on them, and then it gets back to weird alien ghost craziness. And it's just like conspiracy theories too, like the one about it's the Colorado what's that place? The airport. Why can I not think of it? That big airport in Colorado where they have like the big blue horse statue that everyone's like, it's clearly satanic. And there's like a big conspiracy about the entire airport. And it's insane.
Hold on.
Why can I not think of which airport? It's like Chris is over there like screaming it, like, you idiot.
Denver International
Yes,
Airport?
Denver, yes.
Really?
People are like, it's shaped like a swastika, and then they put other like lanes on top of it so you can't see it, and there's underground tunnels, and crazy shit happens there, and like just so much stuff. And some of it
I've
you're
been
like,
to that
okay,
airport.
same. And I was like, it's fine. I saw the big horse. It looks a little weird. It technically killed its creator, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the more you know. So you get weird little information about stupid stuff like that.
I feel like this is absolutely something I'll be like, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, you sold me.
God bless. Another one to our side of the crazies.
Oh snap! Their airport is set up like a swastika. That is a poor design choice.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometime.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. They do a bunch of different type of conspiracy theories. Like one of them did like a multi-part of the JFK conspiracies, and yeah, there's a lot. I don't know how you are though. I'm the person that I go back from the very first episode and start listening onward. A lot of people I know are not like that, so they just listen to like whatever's most recent or something like that. But I enjoy the like, let me watch your growth and see where you've come from. And I
Yeah,
do that
that's
with
kind of me
almost
too.
everyone I do. Yeah. So it's interesting to listen to them from the beginning and them just be like, yeah, this is a weird show that we got going on, to now everyone's just like, yeah, if you pay them $10,000 for their Patreon thing, like they're over here saying some wild stuff that they'll do for it. It's crazy out here. So anyways, how was your spooky week?
You know what? It was actually it was kind of busy, as it tends to usually be. But it was pretty good. We had us a big old time. Let's see. Alice had her one act competition at school, and I went to watch that Thursday, so that was pretty good. And then I went over. Usually, my Halloweens consist of going over to a buddy's house because his neighborhood is super walkable, and they all know each other, and it's in the shape of a big circle, so we can just make a lap around, and everyone's out. Like, it's a good neighborhood for trick or treating. So we go over there every year, and that's what we did again this year, and it was awesome. So I got to hang out with my friends, and that was so super cool because, when you have kids, you really like kind of cut into the time that you can go hang out with your friends and just hang out. So yeah, it was nice to hang out with my friends.
That's nice.
So yeah. So what'd you guys do? Did you guys do anything fun? Sans kid, did you guys like go out to Knoxville and like trick or treat with the dogs?
Oh yeah, you know us.
Yeah,
We,
that's actually why. Yeah, like
I mean, honestly, if Halloween hadn't been on a weekday, we probably would have like done something. Last year when I set out candy, I think two kids came up and that was sad to me. So I was like, screw it, I'm not gonna get candy this year. And then Chris bought two little bags of candy just to be like, okay, they did send out an email that they were trying to be like, maybe kids will come out if everyone turns on their lights and blah blah blah. So he like set the light, set a little bowl outside because I was like, they do not need to come to our doorbell and start ringing or knocking on this door for these dogs to start freaking out. So instead, we just had like, I don't even remember what we ate, but we like sat down and watched a movie. Like he was off, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is he off Tuesday? Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He was off multiple days, so we watched like multiple Halloween movies leading up to Halloween. And then we watched a movie, and I made some of those classic Pillsbury Halloween cookies. And the boys were, of course, dressed as Halloween. Mudslide had on a cute little ladybug costume, and Boo and Kavik were wearing some cute little festive scarves because I had to get up and go to work the next day. So I was like, I don't want to go out and do too much. I'm kind of lazy right now. So yeah, we did not do much.
all
This
right,
is actually the first Halloween that Chris and I have spent together, too. Every year,
really?
one of us has worked, and so we've never really gotten to see each other. 7 years. Crazy,
Wow,
right? That's how it
that's
be
crazy.
sometimes. Be like that.
Oh man. Well, yeah, when we got home Thursday night, me and Amy both were absolutely exhausted, and um, I'm trying to think. No, Alice was already home. Was there a reason I had to go back out? I'm trying to remember if there was another reason I had to go back out. I can't even remember now. I just remember that I finally got everyone in bed and I went to go take a shower because I felt gross. And it was one of those things. I have a little waterproof speaker just for the shower, and I turned that thing on and I put on some
Were you
chill
doing the
chill
Monster
synth.
Mash?
No, I was doing a chill wave sonic bath as I'm sitting in the shower, just like it was just with like ooh, playing underneath of it, and I had all the lights off, and it was magical, dude, magical.
Wait,
Just
you weren't playing the best Halloween song that you and I both know?
no, because Halloween was officially over at that point. But
But
I'm
do you know
curious
what
to know
song?
what the next. I have no idea.
Oh, I think you do know what song it is. Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. That stupid song that Chris asked you to send where they were like,
Yes.
whoa.
Oh, just wait until I send you the Thanksgiving version of that song.
Oh, thank God. I can't wait. We literally showed that to two of Chris's coworkers because we were all carving pumpkins and it got stuck in our head. And so Chris and I have just been playing that for like weeks now. And it just kills us every time we hear it.
That
It's
is
so funny.
hilarious.
I need more people to know about this song. It's awful, but it's so
So
funny.
so the song is
Halloween
I can't
Spooks? Is that what it is?
It's called Halloween Spooks. It's like a 1940s or 50s jazz song, quote unquote. Um and it kind of, it's one of those things, like, you can definitely tell it's very aged at this point if the title alone isn't a giveaway, but it kind of rose to popularity again because call back to that podcast that I said that I listened to every day for 10 years. That show brought it back, and it's called Thanksgiving Cooks, and they would play it and they would make fun of it. And one guy really, really liked it, and the other guy was like, no, this is a terrible song. And everyone else just kind of wallowed in the hatred of it. And then they made they started making parodies of it. So then it became like Thanksgiving Cooks, and then it became Valentine's Spooks and Arbor Day Spooks and everything else. It was crazy, but the song in and of itself is kind of catchy, kind of crazy. Yeah, it's something. Go look it up. It's called Halloween Spooks.
God, I love it. It's so dumb.
Let's see. Stuff that is, man, like a lot of news has dropped this week in just randomness that I kind of want to talk about. I think I just kicked my mic. Sorry. One thing that I think, did we talk about this last week? I'm not real sure. But Marlon Wayans, I think it might have been either the day before or the day of Halloween. He was like, yo, we are coming back with another scary movie in the franchise, which is great because I'm curious to see what they do with the scary movie franchise. A lot of scary movies have come and gone since then. So I think they have enough material to make a good scary movie for sure.
Dude, they have so much material to work on, even like in like real life stuff, because they love doing that shit where they're just like, oh, here's a throwback to like the dumbest thing that happened in 2020, some shit like that. I know that like the first two were super good, and then as it goes on, they might have not been the best, but like they're still iconic. So I'm hoping that they really come out with a good bang.
Well, the only thing that concerns me, and the first two that the Wayans were actually involved in are very close to the edge of like this kind of thing. And this is also why like I dislike the rest of the scary movies that were done by a duo called Freeberg and Seltzer, that they go for jokes per minute instead of good jokes. So and they're all pop culture references. So it is just like boom, 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 boom. And before a joke can even register that is good or bad, they're on to the next one. And you're like, man, and a lot of them just kind of don't hit and have a lot of what I call derp jokes, where someone's walking along, it's like, perp, I hope it don't get hit in the head, burp, and then they get bonked in the head, and then, and then there's always this one middle-aged lady in the audience who is just cackling like a buffoon and has to repeat the joke like, oh my God, did you see she got bonked on the head? And I hate it. I hate it with every fiber of my being. But I have faith in the Wayans. I've been a fan of the Wayans since I was a teeny tiny kid. So I look forward to their next adventure for sure.
Yeah, true.
Another piece of news that came out that I was completely blindsided by, and I just found out about this week. So if it came out earlier in a previous Nintendo Direct, I didn't know about it. So get up off me. Nintendo apparently dropped a music app. And it is, if you know anything about trying to legitimately find Nintendo music over the years, it's very hard to find, which is wild because a lot of their music is really, really good. They make really good video game music. So, like, if you look on any of the streaming sites, there's ways to find it, but none of it is official Nintendo released music. Well, now they've done it, and they have it separated by game, by platform, by a few other things. You can create playlists. You can be in a quote unquote Bowser mood, a Peach mood, a Mario mood. But you can listen to, like, let's see what they have. They got like the soundtrack to Mario Galaxy, Ocarina of Time, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, a few other things, and it just has a bunch of stuff. They do have a few notable exceptions in that a lot of Nintendo 64 games are not represented. A slew of Super Nintendo games are not. I mean, pretty much everything pre-Switch is very limited. So hopefully this is a big enough success to where they'll just keep on adding music. And it is free if you have a Nintendo Online subscription. So go get it and rock out. And you can extend the music. So if there's a song you're playing and it's only like 2 minutes long, you can hit a button and it'll like loop it for however long, 5-10 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
You said this is an app for it? Like you can download it on your phone?
Yeah, I tried to look it up in the App Store and it wasn't coming up, but it's called Nintendo Music. I think I had to like search it on the browser on my phone and then click the link, and then it showed up in the App Store. Like I couldn't search it from the search bar for some reason. It was weird.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I got one more thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later in the old story.
Oh boy.
Or excuse me, in the episode, in the story.
And the good old story of Mark's life.
Right. All right. Are you ready to talk about this movie?
I'm so ready to talk about this story.
Oh, no. So, I feel like this is a great palate cleanser coming off of the nonsense we had last week. I'm going to say it.
Go for it. Whatever.
Yeah. I have strong feelings about this movie, too. But this week, we decided to extend Spooky Season one more week because why not? It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. Yeah. So we decided this week we are going to do 2003's Freddy vs. Jason, the movie that brings two horror franchise behemoths and mashes them together and says, what do you want? Fighting. So.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you did. Super scary.
Oh,
I got
menacing.
goosebumps.
Whoa.
So, I am almost positive that this is not your first time seeing this movie, Raven. What did you think of Freddy vs. Jason?
So, it's been a hot minute since I've seen it because I probably watched this in middle school, to be honest. Probably on the Sci-Fi Channel. And so, like, a good bit of it gets cut out, especially considering the fact that we saw bare tits and ass not even 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
But, Chris had been like, this movie's really shit. Everyone dogged on this movie. It's ass. It's trash. Honestly, looking at this movie, it's not that bad. I think people probably gave it a bad rep in its time because, it's like, what am I trying to say? People really wanted to see a big fight between Jason and Freddy, and it really is only the last, little bit of the movie. But I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the crazy little gore, the little death scenes, some of the weird stuff going on. I thought it was kind of a vibe, especially for, movies that you see nowadays, where it's they're just so different. Yeah, I think that's my take on this.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. How about you, Mark? What did you think about this movie?
You're right. This movie is an absolute vibe. And it is, it is very much a product of its time. It is so early 2000s. It is obscene.
Right.
But it's... I think this movie, it's not good, but it's kind of schlocky fun. that's built on the nostalgia of both franchises. You know, while you don't absolutely have to see the Freddy versus Jason or Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th movies, it does, you know, it helps a little bit to kind of get some of the jokes or some of the themes or whatever. But I think if you could watch this with a group and like have some drinks and really poke fun at it, then it's you will have the time. Yeah, you'll have the time of your life. But also, you know, everyone wanted to see Freddy and Jason fight, and they really only fight at the end, and it's kind of and the story's kind of fragmented, and I didn't really need to see the traditional quote unquote Elm Street story of the whole thing where everyone's trying to stay awake. It just needs to be Freddy and Jason just wrecking shop for 90 minutes, and it would have been absolutely perfect. Let's get into the whole thing of it.
The whole kit caboodle.
Yeah. So we start off. Actually, I kept a kill count this entire movie. Do you want it now or do you want it at the end?
Give it to me at the end.
Okay. All right. So I am thrilled to death that Jason Ritter is in this movie. I don't know if you know who Jason Ritter is. He's the guy who plays Dipper Pines in the hit animated show Gravity Falls. This is one of his early acting roles in just, man, God, this movie is so early 2000s. I mean, we got Frosted Tips. We got
Hell yeah, we did.
Why is every guy in this movie, except for what I will call our two main leads, the guys from the mental institution, either like complete psychopaths or they are super rapey?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
A freaking glow stick, dude.
Glow stick, dude.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, we didn't need all that.
You know, the time of the early 2000s when they were just like, yeah, let's just throw a bunch of shit in here.
Yeah.
That's our style of movie. Now it's just all effects. It's all CGI.
Yeah. Oh, what'd you think of the CGI in this movie? We had a CGI pot-smoking worm.
Dude. Literally, that thing was like Horrorland, Alice in Wonderland caterpillar. Just being like, yo, what's up? You want to take a little puff pass with me, buddy?
And this guy was so stoned, he was like, yeah, man.
Whoa, yeah. He was living his real life Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, he was.
I thought it was fun, honestly. Like, yeah, sure, it looks like shit when we like think about like how much we've seen now. But at the same time, it's just like so fun to look at stuff like that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when we were watching the Fast and Furious and they would of course hit the NOS and then you watch it go all through the car and blue, 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 blue. So I like the like little in scenes of like, whoa, this is going through someone's skull and here's all the little
oh yeah,
like
that's right.
grossest little imparts.
Yeah, that's right. We did get the neurons connecting. Oh yeah.
I enjoy that stuff. I always think it's fun.
You know,
it's not for everyone.
It's crazy, and it's weird that in a what I'll just call a Friday the 13th movie at this point, in a Friday the 13th movie, that I am genuinely offended by how bad the acting was in this movie. Because, like, I don't know if you remember this, but in the early 2000s, and it's kind of this way now, but in the early 2000s, if you were any type of entertainer, they were like, you have to be acting, especially if you were a hip-hop entertainer. And I say that, this is the reason Beyonce's been in some movies. Ludacris is a part of the Fast and Furious franchise. All of that, you know, and Kelly Rowland is no different. Now, I love Kelly Rowland. She is actually my favorite of Destiny's Children. Boy, was this acting rough on me. Because, hold on, I made a note here. Specifically, the part at the end where she gets her big monologue when she's talking, and I'm just like, oh no, baby, please, you gotta stop. I'm glad you died. I was so glad they finally just cut your head off or whatever when they cut you in half. Come on,
Dude,
man.
they Jason slapped her ass into a tree after she was over there being like, Freddy, you ain't shit with your tiny little knives. And what does Jason got? He got the big. And then he's just like, shut the fuck up. Dude, I just want to say I do enjoy, I don't know if she's wearing a wig or whatever, and sure, it's definitely of like the time, but that style is kind of coming back in these like streaks of red. But I love it.
Yeah.
Like so many people, the hair in this like movie was interesting to see, but I really loved hers. Like I'm like, yo, that's what I want right now. I gotta grow it out so I can do this stupid chunky streaks. God. But no, I love that in the beginning of the movie, they're literally shit talking guys that are literally like a foot away from there. They're like, oh my God, he's disgusting. I would never be with this guy. And he's just like, ha ha ha, she's totally gonna bang me later tonight.
Right.
It was cracking me up.
I couldn't, man, listen, that one girl, Gib, I believe her name was, I was like, even from the absolute get-go, I was like, girl, if you survive this, you are going to end up in a horrible relationship with somebody in the future.
Dude.
Like, you clearly don't like this dude. He's clearly a jerk to you. And you're just like, 5 minutes after they get there, you're like, yep, I'm horned up. Let's go upstairs. You know.
I need a few more drinks before I can be with this guy. Why are you with him, babe?
Right.
You can do better.
Right.
Oh. Young love. Like the true love at 14 years old.
Right.
We just had it. No one's ever going to be like him. What are you talking about? And then he shows up after he's like, I've been in a mental institution for the last 4 years. And she's just like, that's terrible. Can we get back together already? Or it's awful.
Yep.
I love it. It's so stupid. I think that's my kind of like the style of horror movies that I like, though, where it's really just like kind of trashy acting. Because my mom and I would watch so many of those kinds of movies when I was growing up, because we were just like, anything. We will take the dumbest, like, someone made this in their basement type film.
Oh,
like stuff like
boy.
that. We watched a lot of like really trashy horror movies.
Man.
So that's why my style is just like, I can watch whatever.
We got to find some of those movies and just watch them maybe throughout next year, because there was a distribution house where, this is before YouTube, so take what you will from that. It's probably 2004, I think it was. I was stationed in England, and I would buy movies that came out on Tuesday, and every Tuesday I would just buy a ton of movies, and I would just watch the hell out of movies. So there was one time when I was walking past the DVD rack, and as I walked past, there was this little cardboard box stand up that it said Sub Rosa Films, and I looked at it and was like, what the hell is this? And the DVDs were like $3, maybe $5, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm getting some of these, because even if they're terrible, then I'm good. So I picked up a couple of them, and these were guys that clearly got their friends together and said, let's make a movie. Let's go for it. We're shooting it on a camcorder. Go. And they were horribly fantastic. And
Ugh.
I have tried to find them because there's one where they're fighting zombies and then all of like they're surrounded by these. How are we going to get out? And this guy comes through a portal dressed in a luchador mask and a cape, power bombs a bunch of zombies through tables and hits them over the head with chairs, and then disappears. And that's how they get out of the situation.
Hell yes.
And I'm like, I don't know what the hell just happened. Me and my friends were in tears laughing so hard. It was a good time. So I'm going to try to find them because we're going to watch them.
Oh, thank God.
Did you have a favorite kill?
Oh, who was it? Oh my gosh.
Because I kind of like the very first one with the jerk dude who got stabbed in the bed and then folded backwards. Like that was pretty
He
solid.
deserved it.
Yeah.
Let's be real. He was such a douchebag. Oh my gosh, who am I thinking of? Now I can't remember which kill it was, and my brain is literally a goldfish where I go, I can't remember anything past the last hour.
Okay, so let me run through some of them. All right.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Mark.
Yes.
I really liked Mark's death because like him getting like slashed in half. I liked it. The way that like Jason was just like that was fun. Anyways, continue on. He was one of the guys that like broke out of the
Yeah.
He was the blonde kid that broke out, yeah.
Yeah, that was Freddy killed him.
Did Freddy kill him?
Yeah, because he set him on fire and threw him around the room and
Who am I thinking of then? Dang it. Oh my god, someone else got slashed in half. Was it the nerd? No.
No.
Yes.
No, the nerd
Oh, it was the stoner. It was the stoner guy, that's who it is.
Yeah.
God damn it. Although Mark's death was pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie.
It was. So, you know what? I kind of like the frat bros at the cornfield rave, which by the way, cornfield rave, absolutely. My man was drinking a restaurant pitcher of Everclear. Was like, man, this Everclear is so strong. I'm like, sir, you are old enough to know better because you are clearly not in high school.
Dude. When he said that, I was like, no, absolutely not. That's fucking awful.
But the two frat boys, I liked that one of them got their head twisted 180 degrees, and the other one was like, I gotta set him on fire, and then set Jason on fire. I was like, oh, this isn't working, and then started to run away and got hit with a flaming spear. Like, yes, all right, rock and roll. This is what I signed up for.
Man, that whole like little rave scene was just like insane in itself. Because you got like kids everywhere, they're all drinking, there's glow sticks. Which honestly, I want to go to this party. It seems like kind of fun. I need a few drinks before I'm like, okay, I'm having a good time. But like, homegirl, that poor girl, she's drunk as heck. She thinks she sees her man. And this guy is literally talking shit to her from the grave. And she's like, yep, here I come. Only to get passed out and kind of groped up by some freak covered in glow sticks. But her freaking death, where like Jason just comes up and he just like stabs the dude on top of her. Good. That guy needed to go. Take him out. And then the whole like cornfield lighting up on fire. I was like, yo, this is a legit party. Let's do it. Sure, people are dying, but people are dying, Kim. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why did that? Anyways, but that whole like scene, I was just like, yo, it's lit. Ha 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 ha.
Oh,
Because he lit it on
oh,
fire. I
boo,
hate myself.
boo. I've always wanted to go to an early 2000s movie rave in a cornfield or a deep dark basement with a
Dude,
bunch of leather clad people that all turn out to be
man.
vampires because they looked so much fun, and I was never in a place where I could be like, yes, let's go to an early 2000s rave. Now I've been to a rave or two, and they are a ball. I can just imagine if like half the crowd was vampires. That would be dope. Or I'm
Actual
just out.
vampires or all dressed as like shitty costume vampires?
You know what? I'm kind of torn on this because
You know what? It's half and half. You got the actual vampires and then the shitty costume vampires.
as long as they promise not to eat anybody, I think I'm okay with it.
Okay, sounds
But
great.
I don't want to be that one dude like at the beginning of Blade, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool, and then all of a sudden, like I'm getting blood rained down on me and all of this, and I'm like, no, this ain't cool no more. Like I don't want that. But if we're just sitting there vibing, and I get to talk to like some cool vampires and become friends with vampires, but I don't have to worry about it, that'd be great. Like Nando and uh
Oh, Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows?
yes, and
Yeah. I
oh
love the freaking nightclub that Naja starts. It's so good.
yes.
I love that show so much.
We
It's
might,
on its final season.
Ye-
It just aired its first episode of its final season, and it breaks my heart because I'm like, you guys can continue this on forever, and I'll just be happy.
we might have to do the original movie.
We should. I've been trying to show it to Chris forever, but it's no longer on Hulu, which is where I originally watched it.
Okay.
So yes, let's watch that sometime. I love it. It's so stupid.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Um, let's see. I am trying to uh oh, the mental hospital. Holy crap. Okay, listen, we got to talk about the mental hospital cuz I need to know. Mental hospitals for a very long time have had a negative connotation surrounding them. And I think in no short part to the way they legitimately were like back in the 50s, but I also think like a lot of media in the 80s where anytime they showed a mental institution, it was in a horror movie, and it was very much like this, where it's like, nope, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to put you in a straitjacket, stick a needle in your neck, and you're going to go to sleep for a very long time. And then when you wake up, if you don't act right, we're going to do it all again.
Oh yeah. That's like how you always see it in media. Honestly, like some of the true crime cases that I've listened to where they talk about like the crazy shit that went on, like even in the like quote unquote mental institutions where it's just like my wife's a little depressed and she doesn't want to do anything, so let's throw her in here cuz she's clearly insane. Or the wife is like, I just don't want to have any more kids. I'm tired of this. I don't do anything except raise your stupid kids. And the husband's like, Doctor, she's no use to me anymore. Please put her away. Like that stuff is insane. And then to hear about things like the freaking Rikers institution? No, absolutely not.
Mm.
This shit's crazy out here. I don't know how institutions really work in today's day. I had a teacher that worked at the like institution in Chattanooga. It's called Moccasin Bend, and he told us some crazy stories when he worked there, and I was like, "That's insane," because he was probably working there in like the 80s, maybe 90s.
Mm.
I don't know. I kind of want to go in one, maybe as a patient. I'll find out. Don't worry, guys. Anyways, what were we talking about these mental institutions for?
Because I don't know, mainly because I just wrote a note. I mean, they
Just because they're absurd?
yeah, because they are kind of absurd, especially in horror movies where they're just like, we gotta, we here, take your drugs. And they're just like, okay, what's this supposed to do? And they're like, if you don't take it, you'll find out what it's not going to do or something. I don't know if that's how that saying goes, but yeah. What's it saving me from? Me, if you don't open that door.
Right? Yeah.
So, but I do want to talk about Mark's death because there was a lot going on because this is Freddy's first kill. Happens almost an hour into this movie, by the way. And, you know, Freddy's back at full strength and he's talking to the guy and he's in a bloody bathroom with bloody snakes, which is a nice touch. And sets him on fire and slings him up against the wall, and the back of his shirt rips off, and it says Freddys Back in the cleanest, neatest, nicest laser-etched blister on the back of this boy's skin. And I laughed like an idiot, because that was so hilarious to me.
It's pretty good. I think I'm going to get that tattooed on my back, just to look exactly like that.
Just a whole back done like that. And then when you
I really wanted to look blistered and maybe a little bruised. Get it in there. They're just like, all right.
And then if you ever show up, people will be like, who's Freddy and why does he own your back? What?
Don't worry about it, kids. If you don't know, you don't know. But yeah, no, having his friends have to like just stand there and watch as he's like, please help me. And then his face gets like scratched up from seemingly nothing to their eyes. They're like, oh God, what is happening? Dear Lord.
You know, that's always the kind of thing that makes the Freddy movies so inherently scary. You know, that feeling of helplessness where you're watching your friends do stuff, you know, whether it's jump off the sleepwalking or, you know, get ready to jump off a house or do any of these other things that people see them do. And they're just like, stop, don't do it. And in their mind, you know, or in their dream or whatever, you know, they're perfectly safe or trying to fly or do something, you know. And it was great that we kind of got a little bit of that in this movie.
True.
So,
especially where the main girl was like, my mom died, and then some dude was like, your dad did it. And then she goes into the sleep realm and sees that, no, it's actually Freddy, and it's crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and now who really killed my mom? But my dad's also still a creep because he tried to drug me several times.
Right.
Yo, her dad was a freak.
Yo, man, yeah. He may not have been completely guilty of what he was accused of, but he's still bad.
Yeah.
So, when the one deputy teams up with the kids and he's like, cool, I'm on your side now. We got to get to the bottom of this. And the one girl falls asleep and she pulls Freddys Ear out of the dream world and she's holding on to it. And the cop says, how is this possible? Which is clearly the proper response in that situation. And the stoner kid looks at the cop with like the utmost conviction and goes, don't you get it? Like, bitch, we have not explained these rules yet. Like, no, I don't get it. Right. Like, it's obvious. Duh. You know?
Poor dude literally moved here like a month ago and it's just like, yo, this city wilding out here. I don't know what y'all up to. Whole town's over here talking about some crazy guy that died like years ago and now apparently comes out in your sleep. This girl just pulled out an ear and now I'm stomping on some maggots. I don't like this no more, but I'm in charge of these kids.
You know, actually, seeing as how you just brought this up, they give a lot of lore for Freddy and Jason in these movies. Like, more than they probably should, because the rest of the movie is so kind of dependent on you knowing what these other movies are about. But they give you a bunch of lore, like the beginning where Freddy is was done kidnapped a girl and is about to murder her or whatever. They really, we don't get that kind of backstory for Freddy until like the third movie, I think. Maybe the third, maybe the fourth one.
Maybe. I feel like you get it at some point earlier, but it's been a hot minute since I've watched any of the like actual
the mainline movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the stoner kid, did it seem like the stoner kid and the nerdy kid, like they kind of injected them later on in the movie just because, like, it seemed like the stoner kid kind of came out of nowhere. And
he really did.
And all of a sudden he was part of the crew. And then the nerdy kid, I guess they kind of laid the groundwork for him, but then all of a sudden he was part of the crew. And I was like, I don't feel like either one of these kids are necessarily,
Dude, you gotta have your token stoner.
I guess. Like,
otherwise, like, who's gonna do the silly goose shit of pouring all of our pills down because he decided, hey, things are going a little crazy. I just need to chill out real quick.
Let me smoke this joint in the security room of a mental asylum.
Dude. Might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
I feel like that's the number one place to do it.
Probably. Probably. Do you think that this role was originally intended for Jason Mewes? Because that kid looked just like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, man.
And
yeah.
I genuinely think in my heart of hearts that this role was meant for Jason Mewes, but he was so strung out because he was in one of his drug times that he couldn't do it. And they were like, let's just put anybody in there. We don't care.
Yeah. Damn. Can we talk about Jason Voorhees being a IRL human pinball? That Freddy was just like, yo, watch this.
Yes.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yes. So it took an hour before this movie, before we finally see these two square off. And yes, you cannot tell me that Robert Englund, the actor behind Freddy, did not spend a day on set just overacting. Just
of course.
And just moving his arm around and probably had pinball sounds playing in the background. I don't even know what to make of the pinball sounds. That's such a weird choice.
It was so funny. Like, it's just like such a random pull that he was just like, because Chris was like, oh, here it comes. Here comes the crazy, weird scene that's just going to happen. And it just happens. And we just watch it and we're like, yeah, okay. Why not?
It's so wild.
I love the part where Jason like cuts off Freddy's arm and he's like, not my arm, and it's like the goofiest voice ever. Like, it's not even just like a Freddy voice. He literally like sounds like some cartoon dad just being like, har har har. And I was just like, what is this? What's happening? What are we watching right now?
So, when Jason turns into little kid Jason, I didn't even look up who that little kid was. That little kid, great. I love him. I don't know, because I know his only role was to sit there and look scared. And they threw some prosthetics on. I was like, okay, Timmy, I need you to sit there. We're going to dump this bucket of water on you. And I need you to just sit there and shake and look scared while this man in burn makeup, pretends to stick a knife into your head.
Right.
But no, he was just sitting there shaking. And I'm like, oh man, this kid is acting his ass off.
Kid actually pissed himself. Convince me otherwise.
Can I go to the bathroom? No, bitch.
Man.
Oh.
Yeah, I honestly enjoy seeing the like Jason Voorhees lore. Like he's like bringing bodies back to this little island that he like hangs out on. Then when Freddy's like trying to go into his dreams, I guess, if that's really what it is, or if he's just being like, let me get a look inside this brain at what you're really scared of, little guy. And he's just like, wow, just got bodies everywhere, don't we? All right, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we found the trauma. And this poor kid's just getting bullied out of camp because he's bald and a little malformed. And teenagers are over there just being horn dogs, not watching other kids.
I mean,
man,
is
it's
it
fucked
is
up
it
round
even
here.
is it even a Friday the 13th movie if the kids aren't horn dogs?
My God, that's all they know. Is just be horny and not watch out for little kids. They can all die.
One of my absolute favorite parts of this whole movie is when they're in, or when she's in the dream world and Jason's getting bullied as the kid, and she's trying to save him after he jumps in the water, and then Freddy shows up, and Freddy jumps out of the water.
The swan dive, that's so beautiful.
Dude, it was gorgeous. Best shot of the whole movie. Like, I was like, what
Right?
the fuck?
It
Majestic.
was so unnecessarily just like beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is this?
It's very
Why is he just like an actual swan at this moment? Of just like, here we go.
it's very much one of them things where you're watching and like, oh my god, it's scary. Man, that is beautiful. Ah.
Honestly, the part where she was like trying to pull out baby Jason and be like, oh, come here, I'll help you out. And then she sees his face and she's like, oh, that part. I think I cackled at that part because I was just like, bitch, you already saw his poor little face. Just pull him out. That was so unnecessary. Ugh. But you know,
And
girls gonna be girls.
yeah. Well, I mean, Kelly Rowland wouldn't even give Jason mouth to mouth.
Right? I was about to say, well,
Don't be a prude.
look, you saw them teeth.
I mean, I can't expect
I
some
would
member
do
of
it,
Destiny's
but-
Child to do that.
I would do it, but I've had asthma since I was 6. Yeah, he doesn't have the lung capacity. Do it. Fucking nerd. Rip. The music. Let's talk
Let's talk music.
incredible music that's blasting through as Freddy and Jason are just beating the absolute shit out of each other. Amazing. No notes. They use the perfect music.
I mean,
We need more of that in
this was
movies today.
absolutely the soundtrack of these kinds of movies. That rock and roll metal, like, is it like, what do we call it? New metal? Is new metal the right word?
I think that's what Chris said. I think Chris was like, this is new metal. And I was like, okay. I'm here for it. I don't care.
Yeah, so you got this new metal playing, like it was like, we can't afford Limp Bizkit or Korn, so this is what you get. Yeah, absolutely could not tell you the name of the band that was playing, but yes, them fighting it. I was like, man, I am 23 years old again, watching this movie in Florida with my friends on a Friday night, because that's the first time I saw it.
Nice.
But yeah, it was wild. The music top notch for sure.
It was banging. I definitely was like, I was head bopping with it. I was like, yeah, let's fucking get this shit. All right.
So
So tell me your thoughts on Jason and Freddy's fight.
okay, so in my notes I have this. First off,
Oh Lord.
welcome to my world, bitch. And then the Jason and Freddy fight was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And then they just happened to stumble into a conveniently placed construction site that we can use for a really cool fight that just happened to have propane tanks and compressed air bottles and all of like this cool stuff that what in the world are we doing? We don't like there's no setup like, oh man, you know Crystal Lake, yeah, they've been closed down for years, but someone bought us doing renovations or something. Like a throwaway line. Something like they explained the van because I wrote in my notes because I write it like as a thought comes to me. Earlier, when they're sitting in the blue van, the first time we see it, they just escaped. They're sitting in the van. First word, I'm like, where did they get a van? And then, like, no sooner than I get done typing that, Mark says, hey, be careful with the van. It's my brother's pride and joy. Cool. We're taking the van from Mark's brother. I get it. Now I know where, in fact, we got the van from. What is their construction site doing here at this old camp that has all of this stuff?
Just a classic remodel. They're revamping it. They're probably putting, let's see, it's the early 2000s. They're probably putting a crystal over there because it's Crystal Lake. Anyways, yeah, they're building a crystal, maybe a duplex mall,
some apartments.
Shit, probably. You'll love the lakeside view. Yeah, I don't know, but honestly, it just made for like a bunch of craziness because honestly, Jason was taking this fucking beating. He had, I don't know how the hell this magic that his mom has put on him has just made him be like invincible. And he just starts pulling this shit out, and Freddy fucking falls and gets his little leg tangled, and he's like, oh no, I can't get out of it. Wild. Absolutely wild.
No, but I loved it. I thought it was cool. I liked that they killed each other and then came back and killed each other again, and then they were alive because that's how the movie is supposed to end. And as far as the main characters, who knows or who cares? They ride off into the sunset.
And everybody died.
Right. Eventually.
Yeah.
So, all right. Are you ready for the kill count? Because I think it's gonna be shocking.
I'm ready.
So, Jason has a kill count. Has a kill count of 17. Okay. Freddy has a kill count of 1.
Damn bitch.
He only killed Mark this entire movie. So, Freddy only had 1 kill, which is insane to me because I kept thinking to myself, like, yo, did I miss something? Why is Freddy not killing a whole bunch of people? Because there was, like, the cornfield rave scene, I kept a little spreadsheet, and it just says, like, kills frat bro, kills rapey techno dude, kills Gib. This is just the techno rave scene, or the cornfield rave. Kills Gib, kills techno rapey dude, kills both frat bros, party kid, party kid, party kid, party kid, party kid. That's 5 party kids. So there's the 5 party kids. Kills 9 people in that short little section. And he's just walking through, just wow, bah, bah. I'm like, yeah, kill them motherfuckers. But Freddy just doesn't kill that many people, and that seems weird to me.
Wow. Definitely pretty weak, Freddy.
So, I say in the battle of Freddy versus Jason, Jason won.
Yeah. I mean, he's over there carrying Freddy's head in that last little cutscene.
Yeah.
So. Even though Freddy winks at you, and it's like, ha ha ha.
I'm back, bitch.
Teehee.
So.
Nice.
All right, man. Well, do you got anything else on Freddy versus Jason before we move on?
I do not.
Word. This was actually a fun watch, I think. Like, it's not the best one in
Yeah.
either one of the franchises, but it was still definitely a fun watch. Like, I zoned out and just kind of enjoyed it. So, yeah, super fun. All right, let's move on to my favorite part of each week, where we talk about little things that has made us happy the previous week. So, Raven, would you please tell me what has made you happy this week?
I kind of touched on it already, but Chris and I don't get like too much time where we get to spend with each other, especially now that his schedule has changed a bunch because he used to have a set schedule where he'd be off on the weekends, but now it's just like a little crazy. But we did quite a bit of like nights where we just like watch a little Halloween movie and have dinner together. And that was just nice for us to be able to enjoy something like that because we don't get to do it as much as we used to. So, yeah, that's kind of what made me tickled as a pickle.
Awesome.
How about you, man?
I got a bunch of things this week. This has actually been kind of a good week.
You know.
So, the I talked about a little bit earlier in the show. Alice had her region one act show that I got to go to Thursday, and they ended up winning for the region. So that means they get to go on to state, which was really cool because those kids are really talented, and it's really nice to see all of the practice and work that they have put in pretty much since day one of school starting back in August, that now they're getting to see kind of like a reward for all that hard work. So that's really good. Friday night, well, actually on Thursday again, my stepmother, she retired. So Friday we all went out to dinner, and there was a whole bunch of people there. It was me, my brothers, their girlfriends, my sister, me and Amy went. Grandma was there, and it was really cool. We all sat down and had like this really cool, fun dinner together, and it was an absolute blast. And it was really cool just hanging out with everybody. Because again,
So jealous.
I don't get to do it that much, and especially with some of those family members. So yeah, awesome. And she didn't know it was happening. It was a complete surprise. So when she walked in and saw all of us here, she started getting all misty eyed and was like, I can't believe y'all are all here. And yeah, I was like, yeah, we're awesome. So
sweet.
And the last thing, the thing that did in fact make me the happiest, because it is by far the dumbest, is usually I telework on Fridays, but I actually had some work I had to do in the office. So I went to the office and I'm all set up. I'm working on the thing that I need to work on. And one of my cube mates showed up and he was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I had some work to do. And he goes, I am so glad you're here, because I was not expecting you to be here, but now you're here, and now this makes me so happy. And I'm like, what type of nonsense are you on? Now, I need to say that this man is an Alabama fan. And when Georgia played Alabama in the football about a month ago, Georgia lost, and we made a bet that said whoever the loser was had to wear the chain with the emblem of the winning team. So I lost, so I had to wear an Alabama chain. And I took a picture with like this little coffee cup and another little thing with the chain on, and took it. And he made like a little, 12-inch tall standout of me holding that stuff. And I saw it and I laughed just so much. It is the most awesomest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, I sent it to you, Raven.
We love it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's so good. And it was completely like surprise. And his wife was like, what do you guys do at work? It was like, we have a good
stuff,
time.
baby.
She's like, you guys are crazy. He's like, but do you guys do anything fun like that at your work? She's like, all right, yeah, you're right. We don't do anything fun. So yeah, I am. It was great. This week's been really good, like for my mental health. In a fantastic way. I've got to see my friends, hang out with my friends, texting back and forth with like you and Chris, just a whole bunch of stuff. And yeah, it was just kind of like right at the right time when I just needed to talk to somebody, and not about anything in particular, but just talk to another human being about similar things. Perfect. So
Talk to someone that's not under the age of 16.
dude, real life problem in my life.
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. All right. Raven, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us on the social medias?
Well, if you like this cute little podcast, it's called Nerd for No Reason. You can find it pretty much on any social media that you really like or have or would like to acquire. You can find myself on Instagram at That's So Raven Ellis. Mark, how about you? Where are you?
I am on Instagram and Blue Sky at Turtles Do It. So hit me up, say hey, and
Hey.
tell us what you thought of the show and what movies you want us to look at, because we are here for it. We are almost at 100 episodes. We'll probably hit 100 episodes in February. Yeah.
Aw, nice.
Maybe February, maybe late January. We will see. We got to see how long our Christmas break's going to be. But yeah, we need to do something special for our 100th episode. And I don't know what.
100 movies in one episode.
It's going to be 6 hours long.
Jeez. This movie was ass. This movie was good. I can't believe we watched this.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, everybody, again, I know I say this like every week, but for real, we just hit our 2-year mark this week, like legitimately. This is our exact 2-year thing. And yeah, man, like we're here. It's great. So much fun. Thank you for listening. Chris, what's up, my dude? Sometimes you're the only person who listens to the show every week, and I appreciate you. Just want you to know that. I look forward to the text when you finally hear this and say, oh, thanks, man. I love you too. And if I don't get it, I'm going to come up there and fight you.
Yeah, Christopher.
So,
He's going to be so mad.
saying all of that, go and do something wonderful in the world today.
You guys go ingest all the newest, latest medias, and we'll see you around next time on the Nerd for No Reason podcast. Goodbye, bitch.
Perfect. No notes. Absolutely not. Thank you for listening to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. You can find us on all major social media platforms at Nerd for No Reason. Our podcast music is Memories in 8-Bit by Deanna Joan, aka Fergie's Human. You can follow her on Twitter at Deanna Joan Music and check out her other social media links in the show notes of our podcast.
So what do you want to do?
I'll just do it. I'll start it off, and you can just do whatever it is you feel like doing. How's that sound?
Okay. Go
Right.
for it.
Me.
Is that the Cookie Monster?
Yeah. Me like dreams.
Perfect.
I'm going to put this at the end of the episode. This is absurdity. Okay. I feel like this is right up there with the dumb shit we did with like Bill and Ted, where we're just like, yeah, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. And we are nerd for no reason. And Chris
Oh, yeah.
sent us a text immediately. It was like, you guys are buffoons.
You fucking morons. You silly geese. Yeah, that sounds about right.
What's up, all you chumps? All you little pansies? It's me, Mark. Welcome to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. It's the scariest, spookiest podcast in the whole world. You thought spooky season was done. It's not done. Welcome to the show, bitch.